Welcome to part 4 of the video series. In this one I'm going to be showing some interactions with the character, which is something you might have noticed hasn't existed up until this point. So let me just quickly clear out these warriors. They had their little skirmish, they're happy for now. So you'll notice by default none of the enemies actually interact with the player character, and this is intentional in that, again, this system is designed to be scalable. You can drag it into kind of your project, any project, and set it up and it will just start working and you can build on top of it. So what we need to do to have the character as to be interacted by the AI is if we come down to, so in this case it's just the blueprint's third person character that comes default with the third person scene. So here is our stuff. So what we need to do is class settings, and we're going to implement an interface. So add, and it's the iAttackable. So relatively logically named. So implementing attackable is all you need to start making something actually play with the AI. The AI is attackable to each other, which is why they fight. You're not an iAttackable, which is why they ignore you entirely. So you'll see when I implemented that, I get some stuff over here on the side, some getters, and category there is extendable logic. A lot of this is kind of falls under this banner. So you've just got a function here which is hostile. So this is what the minions will check for when they're trying to interact with you. They'll check for two things actually. They'll check, one, are you hostile to me? And now the easiest thing to do here is give yourself a team. So if I just add a variable team, add of type team, pull it in here, and now off this, you can't call get team. This is just because team is just a very, it's the same as health, it's a very common thing to want in kind of a system that has things which kind of attack. Here's the byte just to make it quicker. No, is not equals enum, but basically at its simplest form, hostile is not my team. That's what the minions are doing to each other. They're just checking to see, is this person on my team? No? Cool, they're a valid attack target. Now, again, why it's kind of under extendable logic here is because you can start really bulking this kind of logic up. So this and one more part. So are you hostile? Now, you do have to fill all these out. This is all information that's being used. So get team. Again, this is minions need to be able to get your team because they themselves are checking if you're the same team. So get team, nice and easy. Now get XY tackle distance, still not totally sold on that function name, but what this means is, ignoring the Z, how far from the center of you should I stop? So that was awkward wording, but basically what it means is you want the capsule radius. Because when you're getting the distance between two actors, it's actually getting the distance between the two center of them. And if you're trying to move to within your attack range of the center of someone else, your collision starts hitting their collisions. You actually want, you know, your attack distance plus your radius plus their radius, and then plus kind of your Z offset. All that math is taken care of, but what this wants is your radius. I wasn't entirely sure you'd always be a capsule. You probably will, but basically this wants the capsule radius. Now, this is the other piece I said that is hostile was one check that things do when looking for a valid attack target. Is valid attack target is another. Now, is valid attack target's really handy if you need an initialization value. So, for example, if you're going to spawn someone and then set up a bunch of information about them, at the end of that setup process, that's when you want to kind of, you know, set. So maybe here you have is initialized, but well, for example, this default character obviously has nothing set up, but as an example of something you might feed into that, is dead. So the minions have this, so it is valid attack target. Let's just put in is not dead. Now, I didn't need to do this. This is more just to show kind of how you do start extending this system. So valid attack target, you know, I'm not dead. I'm not ethereal, I'm not invisible. You can put a whole bunch of things in here that basically say, you know, they won't see you as an attack target if you aren't dead. Oh, sorry, if you don't pass this condition. And the last one, get dispatcher. This only exists because to make it really, really event-driven, like we have, we use a lot of event dispatches, so you bind to your attack target, so when your attack target dies, you weren't necessarily the one to kill them, you just need to know when they die, so you bind to their death event. All that's handled in the AI. All you need to do is you need to add component, and you need to add the comp attackable dispatcher. Now this comes with the AI pack, so if you just type in dispatcher or anything along those lines, you'll see that come up. So you do just need to add the component, and then it'll appear here in your component list. You just want to drag down a reference to it and link in the dispatcher. What the AI needs this logic because if the character dies, unless something tells them the character's died, they won't know what to do, and I can't declare event dispatches on an interface and all they see the character as is an iAttackable, which is very nice. It's a nice setup, but it doesn't let me declare events. So this was my workaround to get events working so that I could still have the event-driven setup that I wanted without trying to manually keep a list of who has me as a target and send messages out to them, but that's functionally just manually rebuilding part of that system. So with that set up, I don't actually have any minions in here, but with that set up, if I actually, skeletons, skeleton warrior, let's rotate him around so that he's looking at me, and put him on team 2, because my team just by default will default to team 1 unless I change it, and bam, he's now decided that I'm an attack target. Now, I don't actually have any damage. My character doesn't have any damage taking function set up on it, so he can wail on me all he wants, and I don't really care. But also, if you notice, kind of part of the niceness of setting up that animation setup that we did at the start, notice that he will in fact keep running while attacking, so he doesn't have to stop to attack me. If I start running away, he will kind of, like that, he will kind of hack at me whilst running after me, which is quite nice. So that's him attacking the player, you know, just implement some health and whatever else on your player character. I wanted to leave any implementation with the character just as, you know, implement iAttackable so that the minion knows what to do with you, because you're going to, in your own game, handle your character your own very unique way, I'd imagine. So that's basically all the setup you need to do to bring these AI in and start having them actually interact with your character. So kind of putting this all together, if I rotate him back this way, come over to AI, and I just kind of start setting up a bit of a patrol route. So let's have a patrol node here, patrol node down here, and let's just make him walk kind of in a big circle. So I'm going to make that one point to here, this one point to here, this one point to here, and this one point to here, and they all turn green because we've got a nice valid loop there now. And so let's just say when he gets to here, you can wait for 5 seconds, use controller desired rotation, use point desired rotation. He can walk back that way for a bit. When he comes out here, he's just going to roughly stare the way he's about to move. Another 5 seconds. And those two he just wants to cycle through. His guard posts are kind of up the end there, so I started in his peripheral vision. You have all of your peripheral vision things as per normal because when you extend from the class, you get the pawn sensing inherited component, and so you've got your sight radius, sensing interval, etc., peripheral vision angle, all of that you want. So I'll just start a bit further back so he doesn't see me, and set his initial control point. So there we are. He's now actually told to patrol on that route, and we'll begin. So I can't remember which way I told him to face when he got there, but if I kind of want to sneak up behind him, I want to stay past, he has like a 180-ish field of vision. So I want to kind of stay behind him. Now I can kind of run around up here. Let's poke the camera around. Yep, because he's going to stare back that way. Yep, and I'm just going to carry along his patrol route. Once he's passed, we should be free to run up and around behind him. He's going to pass through this corridor here just fine. And you know, now if I had some cool takedown ability or something, walk up behind him, press interact and kill him silently behind here where his buddies won't see. But basically that's the core of our system. Anything that you want the pawns to be able to attack just needs to implement iAttackable, kind of have a, you know, is valid state and a is hostile state. You can, you know, if it's a training dummy or something that you just always want them to be able to attack, you can just check true on the is hostile check and just use the is valid check, or kind of whatever you'd like to set that up. But this is pretty much the end of the tutorial, the end of kind of what I've set up with this system. They all work really, really nicely and is nice and scalable. It's easy to build on top of, and it's easy to just drag and drop in and get some basic functionality out of pretty much straight away. So I really hope you like it, and I'd love to see it on the marketplace.